every single American kid learns the same story. Paul Revere rode through the night shouting, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" He never said that, not once. And that is just the beginning. Because America is turning 250 years old, and buried inside those 250 years are 10 facts so strange, so weird, so genuinely bizarre, that you'll wonder how they got left out of every history book. We're saving the most unbelievable one for the very end. Fact 1. Paul Revere's famous midnight ride? He never shouted. He whispered. He knocked on doors quietly because British soldiers were everywhere. Shouting would have gotten him caught. And he was caught. The British stopped him before he ever reached Concord. A man named Samuel Prescott actually finished the ride. Nobody wrote a poem about Samuel Prescott. Fact 2. The Declaration of Independence was signed in one of the hottest, sweatiest rooms in Philadelphia. It was July. No air conditioning. These men in full wool coats, tight neck stocks, and powdered wigs sat there for weeks, arguing in brutal summer heat. The famous signatures we know? Most weren't actually signed on July 4th. The clean, official copy wasn't ready until August 2nd. History rounded up. Fact 3. George Washington was enormous for his time, 6 feet 2 inches, when the average man stood 5'7". He had hands so large he could palm a cannonball. But here's the weird part. His teeth started falling out in his 20s. By Inauguration Day, he had one real tooth left. His dentures were made of hippo ivory, cow teeth, metal springs, and real human teeth pulled from other people. We still don't know whose. Fact 4. The Liberty Bell cracked the first time it was rung. It was ordered from London in 1752. It arrived. They hung it. First test ring. Crack. They melted it down and recast it twice. The crack that exists today came back on its own during use. The symbol of American freedom has been broken almost its entire life. Fact 5. Benjamin Franklin went to France to ask for their help winning the revolution. And he showed up looking deliberately plain. Simple coat, no wig, a fur cap, while every French aristocrat dressed in silk and powder. The French loved it. They thought he was a wise, rugged frontiersman. Franklin knew exactly what he was doing, and this same man never became president. He also genuinely, seriously argued that the national bird should be the turkey. He called the eagle a coward and a thief. He lost the vote. Fact 6. In 1814, the British set the White House on fire. Before they did, First Lady Dolly Madison refused to leave until workers cut a massive portrait of George Washington out of its frame so it could be saved. A sudden rainstorm put the fires out before the building was completely destroyed. America was saved by weather. Fact 7. The Statue of Liberty was not green when she arrived. She was the color of a copper penny, warm, reddish-brown, and gleaming. The green color we know today developed slowly over 20 years, as the copper oxidized in the salty sea air. Lady Liberty has been slowly rusting in the harbor for 140 years. We just decided it looked good. Fact 8. In 1867, the United States bought Alaska from Russia. All of it. 586,000 square miles of wilderness, glaciers, and coastline for $7.2 million. That works out to about 2 cents per acre. Americans were furious. They called it Seward's Folly and Seward's Icebox. They thought it was the dumbest thing the government had ever done. Alaska today produces billions in oil, fish, and natural resources every year. 2 cents an acre. Fact 9. Washington, D.C. has not always been the capital. The capital of the United States moved 8 times in the first 15 years. Philadelphia, New York, Trenton, Annapolis. The permanent capital wasn't settled until 1800. And George Washington, the man the city is named after, died before he ever got to see it finished. Fact 10. The one I promised you. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were rivals. They argued. They stopped speaking for years. They were the second and third presidents of the United States. On July 4th, 1826, exactly 50 years to the day after the Declaration of Independence, both men died, hours apart. Same day. John Adams' last words were, "Thomas Jefferson still survives." He was wrong. Jefferson had died a few hours earlier that same morning. Two founders, one day. The 50th anniversary of the country they built. No one has ever been able to explain it. 250 years of a country that cracked its own bell on day one. That almost had a king. That turned green in the harbor. That bought a continent for pocket change. And said goodbye to its founders exactly when it was supposed to. Drop the number in the comments. 1 through 10. We want to know which one got you. No,